Greetings and salutations to all of you lovely little listeners and larger listeners and fluffy, non-fluffy, sweet and always sweeter listeners out there. This is what I'm going to call probably the epiest podcast that I've ever recorded in my time. Mostly because it has been quite the adventure over this past week and also leading up to this week. And I will get into it. But first of all, I just want to say, how grateful I am because recently the main channel, the Samson the Cat Fox channel, has reached 5,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness. And I wanted to mention it here because I think it's important. I think it's important to place it in different places and to just put it out there that I am so grateful and I have no idea what to even say half the time when something like this happens. It's just so, like, I don't have words for it, I really don't. The fact that you all have been there and stuck around and shown your support and just been the absolute sweetest and most supportive bunch that there ever was. You've given me so much on this platform, and everything that you have contributed has made my life just exponentially better on so many levels that I can't even begin to say how thankful I am for each and every one of you. And given the given the timing, being the new year and all, it's definitely one of the biggest milestones. Well, it is the biggest milestone currently, but starting off this year just so right, so beautifully that I just yeah, I couldn't have picked a better time. And like, this is ironically going on the fifth year of rebooting the main channel since 2020. And we've I like how it works. Like, I like how the OCD kind of works with my brain. Like, every year we've seemed to have averaged like 1,000, and now we're up to five ever since the reboot in 2020, and now it's 2025, and now we're at 5,000. So it just makes total sense. And for that reason, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for making this a part of my everyday life and making it something that I can be absolutely proud of. And yeah, it can only go up from here. And I am so looking forward to the future and what it has in store for all of us. Not just the channel, not just, not just each of us individually, but, all in all, as a group and as those of us who are doing life together. I'm very much looking forward to the future and how it's going to play out. So take some time, pat yourself on the back, and I'm giving you. I'm making a heart with my paws right now. You can't see it, but it means so much to me that you have taken the time just to check out what I do and all the things that you have just given. Everything from even watching a single video for a few seconds to liking to commenting to subscribing to all the lovely donations that you've given on the channel. It means so much to me, and I don't even know like how I would repay that. If I could give every single one of you a hug and say thank you, just know that I would. I would absolutely do it. And the sad reality of it is, as we continue on and grow and we continue to make this magic happen, it's becoming more and more difficult to, make that a reality, because I know that I'm not going to be able to meet every single one of you in this lifetime. I'm not going to be able to, do that. And that's the part I think that hurts is it's difficult, how difficult it is to meet as many of you as possible. And that's why with every interaction, everything, every person that I meet, everything that I see at different cons, conventions, meetups, and just, yeah, like you have no idea what even a single interaction with one of you means to me. And I really do my best to make it memorable and to remember every single one. And so, that being said, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep trucking because you all, you all really push me to do that. And there are plenty of days, trust me, there are plenty of days where I feel very undermotivated. I feel like maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I feel like I'm, wasting my time, but all of that is not true. None of that is true. It's far from the truth. You are all worth every second, and it gives me the power and the push and the perseverance to move forward and to continue on. So thank you so much. So starting this off with a very, very good note, and yeah, I just wanted to put that out there and just say thank you and how grateful I am, because I really am, and words cannot describe it. It really means the world to me, and more than that. So over the past week, I had a lovely friend staying with me. He came up from Georgia, and it was very, very nice to see him and be able to hang out with him. And we got to hang out with some local friends and mutual friends, and got to enjoy our time together. We went out to a lot of lovely eating places, and we, got to fursuit a little bit, and we played a lot of tabletop games, and yeah, just had a good time together. So I'm thank you for coming up and for visiting me. It means so much to me, and I'm so glad that I got to make your week as worth it as possible. Though be it hectic, it was a hectic week, and I will get into that, but I'm very grateful for that. In addition, we got to celebrate another friend's birthday on Saturday, so we all went out together and had a lovely meal, and it was beautiful. And yeah, got to celebrate their birthday together, and I'm just super glad that we ended up celebrating with them and had a meal together and got to hang out and just relax and enjoy our time together. So that was a beautiful thing. I do want to mention this friend did, and I don't know if I already mentioned this on the podcast, but this friend did introduce me to a new series that I have never seen before, though I have heard of it. I don't know if any of you have heard of The Handmaid's Tale, and most likely you have because it's one of those shows that you hear the name and you're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, but what is it? I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. And I started watching it with him, and we got maybe 2 episodes in, and oh my gosh, the absolute chaos and just wow. Like, it just hits you in the face first episode. It doesn't take any time to waste. It doesn't waste any time to show you exactly what's been happening and exactly what might be going on here. So, I recommend it. Although, trigger warning to any of you who are sensitive to certain topics, especially when it comes to relationships and when it comes to prejudice. Just, keep that in mind. Watch at your own discretion. It is very much an adult series, so I give you that warning, but it's still very good. If you like a good dystopian psychological series, then I highly recommend The Handmaid's Tale. So, who knows? We'll see how much it messes me up as I watch through it, so that'll be interesting. I do want to talk about something in particular that happened on Friday of last week. And I just want to make a small disclaimer. This is in no way calling anybody out. It's in no way to pass judgment or to cast any stones, as a figure of speech. But it is something that I has been on my heart, and I need to let you all know what's been happening and what has happened. And it brought a lot of humility to the situation, I think, that took place, and it really got me thinking about some things, and I want to share it with all of you. And I will be, I won't be naming any names. I won't be, outing anybody or anything like that, but I will try to explain as best as I can the incident that occurred on Friday. So Friday, work was pretty normal. It was pretty much a regular Friday at work. And as a reminder to those of you who don't know, I work in a warehouse. I do inventory, and I do receiving and that kind of thing. And I also do management. I'm not a manager, but I do I do inventory management, and I do cycle counting and all that kind of good stuff. And with that, this is one of my furry bingo card check marks, right? Is I am forklift certified. So it's funny, on Twitter a few months back, I saw a furry bingo card, and one of the spaces was actually forklift certified, which I thought was kind of funny. So it's more ironic than anything, I suppose. But that's going to play, that particular point, me being certified, is going to play into this story/incident that happened. So anyway, it was typical Friday like any other, and we were just doing our thing at work, and just getting through the day. And it wasn't until I went to lunch, and I like to take late lunches. I just personally, because of my own social battery, I tend to not go to lunch when everybody else does, because they hang out and they do their thing. And it's not that I don't enjoy being around my other coworkers. It's just that I prefer to eat my lunch in peace, away from everybody else, and just take that time to relax and read, maybe take a nap, maybe meditate a little bit, and we'll go from there. Well, one of my closer coworkers, this is one of the people that I work directly with, was in the lunchroom because he also takes late lunches. And, we got to talking and stuff, and he seemed pretty regular, seemed pretty okay. And it's gonna play in here in a second. But yeah, he seemed fine. He seemed like he was having a good day, and he was doing okay, and everything was pretty much relative at that time. So we chat a little bit, and he finishes up, and he goes back out to the floor, and I sit down, have my lunch, and about 20 minutes later, I go back out to the floor, and then I sit down at one of the closer workstations that's by the break room, because technically I have two workstations that I work from, and this one is the closer one to the break room because of how the place is set up. So that's not really important. But just know that I am a good distance from my regular workstation, which has the warehouse docks where we, send stuff out and bring stuff in. And I'm sitting there after my late lunch, and I'm just doing some work, before I head back down to the main area, just to get some stuff done and get some stuff cleaned up for the day. And then all of a sudden, I hear very, very loud yelling, and it's, at first it sounds like someone just joking around, oh my gosh, I can't believe you, that kind of thing. It sounds joking. It sounds like, because that's what my coworkers do. They get loud and they get very energetic at times, and they just, we mess around, we play around a little bit, and we mess with each other. And sometimes that includes getting loud and getting very rambunctious just for the fun of it. So at first it sounded like that, but then I started to hone my pointy ears in on what was being said, and I started to quickly realize that it wasn't good. It was not joking, it was actually serious. And like the yelling voice was getting louder, and I heard what sounded like reckless driving. Okay, so how this works, if you don't work in the warehouse industry or in any sort of industrial like type setting, is there is a certain amount of code that you need to follow when you're driving a forklift for safety reasons. Like you need to blare your horn, you need to check your corners, you need to take it slow, you need to be cautious and mindful of your surroundings, that kind of thing. That seems fairly straightforward and, like common sense, right? Well, as it turns out, person yelling was driving very erratically, recklessly, and yelling at the same time. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad combination. And I know because I stood up and I walked sort of like partway down the hallway to where the main work area was where this was occurring. And I see my coworker on the forklift, the one that I just saw in the break room. And he is having a full on fit. I don't know what to make of it. Like, what in the world is going on with him? I don't understand. Well, not only did a small crowd start gathering, like people from the office came out and to take a look. People around the immediate area were like looking around and seeing what was going on. And my coworkers, immediate coworkers, they were like spread out and like out of the way. Thankfully, they were out of the way of this just freak driving, right? And he is just going off. Like, he's cussing people out. He's like, he's just going after like anybody who's getting in his way. I don't mean like he's chasing them down, but like he is giving them like the the business. Like he's yelling at them. He's, like, get the bleep out of my way and that kind of thing. And oh my gosh, it was horrible. Like there's no other way to describe it. It was awful. And I'm looking around like, what could be causing this meltdown of sorts? And I look, and there is a semi truck that is backed up to one of our docks that he is unloading because that's part of his job, right? And yeah, I like he's mostly yelling at the truck driver. Like he is going after this truck driver like crazy, and I don't know what to even think of it. Like, what did this guy do? Did he do something wrong? Is he like attacking my coworker? Like, what's going on? Like, did he start this whole thing? What's the deal? Well, basically, I elected to back off, go back to my previous workstation and just sit it out and wait because I wasn't about to get involved. Like, I do question whether or not I should have gotten involved, but I think it was smarter that I didn't because I don't think there was anything I could have done to de-escalate the situation more than it already was. So then I hear other people yelling, like they're trying to get him to stop, right? They're trying to get him to calm down, and it's not working out. It's just not having it. So finally, he parks it. He gets off. At this point, I am down in the main area where all this was happening, and I'm talking to my other coworkers who are still kind of like off to the side, cowering, as it were. And yeah, and they're talking to me. They're like, yeah, like he just started like going off on this truck driver for seemingly no reason. Like this was very out of character for him. I want to mention it was very out of character. Like I have not seen behavior like this ever from him, and the only other time I have ever seen him get anywhere close to it is when my previous manager, this is before my current one, was working there, and let me tell you, this guy was a pain in the tail. Okay, so it makes total sense why my coworker went off on him many years ago, but that particular incident in the past makes sense as to why he did that, as to why he went off on that manager, because the guy was just not a good boss, and there were some things that happened. Anyway, that's the only other time that I had ever seen him like that angry. But no, this was like to the point of livid, like he was blowing his top and hitting the ceiling at the same time. And then as I'm talking to my other coworkers, just kind of get the scoop on what's going on, my manager goes up to him, and I hear the words, "Go home." Like, you need to go home. You need to drop what you're doing. We'll talk about it on Monday. You need to go home. And he does. He packs up his stuff and he leaves without saying another word to anybody, doesn't even look at anybody, just walks out. And that was it. And it got so bad to the point where like human resources got involved and they had to interview all of us, and upper management got involved, and they were like checking the cameras to see, like, analyze the situation, that kind of thing. And well, long story short, this individual, this coworker of mine, ended up getting fired because of it. And it wasn't the fact that he was being rude and cussing people out, including managers, but it was the fact that he was recklessly endangering safety. That was the reason why he got terminated. Had it not been for that factor, he probably would have been written up. He probably would have been, given a warning, whatever, a demerit. But no, it was the fact that he had, like, completely lost his mind while on the forklift, that caused his termination. So why am I telling you this? It seems really odd, doesn't it? But I'm here to tell you this because, one thing, it's been on my mind, but two, this is somebody that I know. This is somebody that I very much respect. This is someone who I've worked closely with for more than 3 years now, and we were very close, work coworkers. That is, not so much outside of work, but more so we worked really well together. We we kind of like besties at work, and we got along very well. We actually liked each other as people and not just on the surface level of doing a job, if that makes sense. And as I said, this was very out of character for him. And nobody to this day knows the reason why this happened. And I still don't know the reason. But frankly, I don't care what the reason is. I don't, whether it's something outside of work, something that happened, maybe at work that he didn't really dispel or tell anybody about. But the question remains. I ask again, why am I telling you this? Well, it taught me something. That incident, though it may have ended in the most unfortunate way, which, by the way, I want to mention, I'm just so grateful that nobody got hurt in the situation, least of which him. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got, hospitalized. There was no legal issues that came with the whole, arc of things that happened. But I was talking with one of my other, like, good coworkers, someone I'm close with there, who still works there, and we were talking about it, and we came to this conclusion after going through it again and just kind of like trying to place logic on it and trying to understand it a little more, that that's all of us. That incident, that happening, we can look at that and say, that could be me. That could be me. Like, I fully have the potential to do that just the same. I have the potential to completely just, lose my cool and just, make a horrendous mistake and, pay the consequence of getting terminated. And I'm thankful that there were no lawsuits or anything like that, but still, I think about that and I go, I am no different from that coworker. I am no different from anybody else in this area, this shop, that we all have that potential to make that kind of a mistake. We all have that potential to just completely lose it in a moment and, like reap the consequences of our actions as well. And it doesn't make me or anybody or that coworker any better than anybody else, because we all have it in us. We all have that thing inside of us that could pop at any moment if you don't blow off some steam, or if you don't take the time to work through your issues or work through your problems in a healthy and, I guess, calm manner, I know I've talked about it in the past, and I've told you all before, but one of the things that I do to blow off steam is to write. I write in a journal. I write down my thoughts, issues, prayers, anything that's on my mind, and I will just be as honest as possible. And some of it may be very dark, but I'm getting it out of my system. And after that, after I finish writing, I will sit there and I will read it back to myself out loud. I will say the things that I wrote out loud. And that helps me tremendously to blow off that steam, to, get out my frustrations, my stress, my depression, anything that's going on in my life, so that something like that example does not happen. Yet, I am no different than my coworker. My dear coworker who no longer works there. And should I say that I don't blame him? I wouldn't say that. What I would say is that I understand. I understand. Even though I don't know entirely what happened or what the lead up was or if there were any outside influences to his behavior, I get it. I've been in that position before. I have completely lost my mind on somebody. I can tell you, I won't give you specific details, but I can tell you that there was a time that there was somebody that I dated at one time. And after the breakup, I got accused of a whole bunch of things from that relationship that I did not do. And I ended up talking to them about it. And I said some words that honestly I regret saying to them because they weren't true. I was out for revenge. I was out for basically out for blood at that point. And I hung up that phone after that conversation. And I was like, why did I say that? Did I really mean those things? Should I have said those things? Are those things really going to add any good or any substance or, anything like that to our now relationship, that where we are now, or to anybody else's for that matter? And how would it affect the people around me, those things that I said or did? So I know for a fact that I have that potential to completely lose my mind and lose my cool and just go off on somebody even when I don't mean it. So being that this happened and being that this is the case and here we are now with our current situation as it is with this coworker, I will say that I'm right there with you. To my coworker, I doubt you'll ever hear this because you have no idea what the furry thing is all about, but I'm right there with you. I see you. I get it. Even though I'm not proud of what you did, I'm not proud of my own actions in the past either. And I'm definitely not proud of what I might do in the future that, would garner this kind of reaction as well. So I'm telling you all this just to let you know that it's not worth it. It's not worth, getting yourself worked up to the point where you just feel like you can't come back and everything just everything gets tunnel vision and you just lose everything in that moment. I'm letting you know that there are ways that you can de-escalate yourself. There is a level of self-control that all of us, every single one of us, can achieve so we don't get to a point like that. And to my coworkers' credit, we have had conversations in the past about being stressed out and feeling like we are lost at times, and I just hope that our conversations that we had in the past, between work hours and on the overtime hours and burning the midnight oil, on second shift, made some sort of an impact. That's the only thing that I can hope for. And I can still pray for him. I can still contact him if I need to. He can contact me if he needs to. I'm thankful that we got contact info swapped so that, in the future, especially going forward right now, we still have the opportunity to talk and to be friendly if we need to. So, all that to say, we all have that potential, everybody. I'm speaking to you. Like, we all have that way that we can find the right path to madness if we're not careful. So, and when we see something that happens like that, instead of rebuking somebody or judging them or putting them on in a place that's probably on a lower step than we are, let's go up to them. Let's put our arm around them. Well, maybe maybe not in the moment, but you know what I'm saying. Like, let's be that person who can go up to them and just encourage them and say, "Hey, what's going on? Is there anything that I can help with?" Even if it's just for you to vent or to blow off steam to me, or if there's anything at all you need to talk about, I'm here to listen, One of the things that I have that I don't know how I'm going to get it to him, but one of the things that I have is I've decided to write a thank you note to this old coworker, and it's not a thank you note in the sense of like a traditional one, but it's a way for me to write to him and say how thankful I am that he was one of the best coworkers I've ever had, because it's true, he was, still is. There's a big shoes to fill. Whoever gets that position next, that's going to be a big spot to fill, I'll tell you what. But I think that a thank you note is a nice little incentive, to give him some encouragement and to let him know that he really did make an impact on my life, because he did. He may not realize it, but that's why I'd like to give that note to him and let him know that he did make an impact on my life. So just remember, you listening to this, you can be the difference. You can make the difference, even if it's within yourself, even if you are to that point where you feel like you can't come back, or you feel like you've messed up so bad to the point where there is no return. I'm letting you know it's not too late. It's never too late. It's going to be okay. It's okay to not be okay. Okay? It's all right to blow off some steam, and I encourage you, please do it in a healthy way possible, like as healthy as possible. Don't take it out on everybody else, please, but find something that works for you, whether that's writing or taking a walk, sitting and meditating, doing some deep breathing, maybe that's spending time with family or friends, or even if it's just sitting down with your cat or your dog and just chilling and just being there with them. That can help a lot. Maybe it's just that cup of coffee. Maybe it's a project that you're working on. You can put all of that negative energy and convert it into something creative. Whatever the case may be for you, I just want to let you know that it's not too late. And you have the power to self-control. You have the power to enlightenment, your own enlightenment from within. It's all within us, And it does kind of remind me, let me see if I can find it. Ironically, there was a quote that Marcus Aurelius, that I believe it was Marcus Aurelius, who quoted this from his Meditations book, which I have mentioned in the past. He said something about character. Okay, I think I have it right here. Let me see. Here it is. So this is from Marcus Aurelius in Meditations. He says, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with some weapons of reason and mind that today guard you against the present." I want to read that again. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason and mind that today guard you against the present. So what does that mean? That means let's not be anxious for the future. Let's not be anxious. As the book of Matthew says, don't be anxious for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Um, let's remember that, though we do have this potential to, have these moments in our life where we're not proud of it, and moments that we may regret, and they will happen. It is inevitable that they will happen. And I'm telling you right now, it's part of being human. This whole thing is part of being human. But let's not let the future get to us. Let's not worry about the fact that, oh my gosh, one of these days I'm going to have a freak out like that. No. You can prevent it. You can get ahead of it. And you can make it right before it even happens. Okay? So that's just been something that I've been thinking about. Like, I feel very much on the same level as my coworker. I'm no better. I'm no worse. We're both the same when it comes to regular human emotion, regular human condition. This is how it is. This is how we live. It's expected, and it's within all of us. We all have this potential, because it's very easy to look at someone and say, oh, thank goodness I'm not like that. Well, for some things maybe, but with something like this, let's look at that person with love and with care and with kindness, and let's do our best to help them. And in turn, let's do our best to help ourselves as well, so that we don't have to cross this. We don't have to be alone crossing this either. Because one of these days, it's going to come to that moment where we feel like we need to just, let it all out, maybe sometimes in the worst way possible. But there are plenty of other ways that we can do that before it happens. So I just want to share that with all of you. And, like I said, I doubt that my old coworker will hear this, but if by some random chance that he does, I know that you'll be okay. I don't blame you. I don't fault you. I don't condemn you. I don't rebuke you. I don't judge you. What happened in that moment was nothing but heat and stress, among other things that I don't even know about. But I do have to say that I am very sorry that you had to lose your job over this. But, that doesn't mean that you can't pick yourself back up. And you might find something even better out there. And just know that myself, as well as other coworkers, we hear you, and we still see you, and we still care. I still care. And I know that you'll be okay. You've shown me more often than not, how strong and how level-headed you are, and how gracious and patient and kind you are. And that doesn't just go away over one incident. You can do this, and I believe in you. I still do. And thank you for being the best coworker that I've ever had in my life. I'm going to miss you terribly. That's the hardest part of this, is you're no longer there. And I no longer get to see you every day and have fun and laugh and, work with you. But such is life. It's one of those things that I unfortunately cannot control. But you know what? You're going to be okay. We'll be okay. And we're going to miss you. So I wanted to share that with all of you, and I hope that you got something out of it. And I hope that, it's something that you can think about, and something that you can see within yourself, something you can analyze in your own life, and something to reevaluate in your soul. And just as a reminder that it doesn't have to be that way. And we can do so much better, because we are better than that. We are so much better than our actions. We are more than the choices that we make. We are more than the problems that we create. We are more than just a voice. We are more than just an emotion. We're more than just a stressful feeling. We are more than just a thought. We are more. You are more. You got this. And I believe in you. If nobody else does, I do. And I'm letting you know right now, you can do it. Okay? So I think I'm going to call that a podcast here. I know this is another sort of heavier one, but I hope that you can think over it and that you can consider what was said today, and hopefully you hear this and you learned something from it. Because I'll tell you what, I definitely learned a lot over these past few days, and it has brought me to a place of just contentment, humility, appreciation, and though it is a sad situation, it doesn't mean that there can't be beauty that comes out of it. There's definitely healing in the wings, and the healing is beginning right now. So once again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for bringing me to this huge milestone on the main channel, and I could never repay you for any of it. And as always, thank you for listening here. This is one of the other joys that I get to do, and it's a wonderful thing that I get to just sit and have a conversation with you. It feels really good to just, in a sense, blow off steam. Here's me letting you know that I'm blowing off steam and just getting out what's on my heart. Because like I said from the beginning, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be transparent and honest, because that's how we do this. It's the only way to do this. So I love you all. Just remember, sic Parvis Magna. Remember your greatness from small beginnings. Remember where you started, where you came from, and your origins. Don't forget the people who brought you up and those who continue to stand by you to this day. Never forget that you had a small beginning and it's turned into something even greater than you ever imagined, and you're not done yet on this journey. In the same way, remember to be you, be yourself, be nobody else but you. There has never been anyone like you in the past. There will never be anyone like you in the future, and there is no one like you right now. Only you can do the things the way that you can, and do them the best way that you can. Don't let anyone ever tell you who you can and can't be, or what you can and can't do, because that is for you to decide. You are needed in the world as you are right now, so never forget that. You are loved. And thank you again for letting me live this dream every single day. So I'll catch you all next time. Have a lovely night. And until next time, this is Samson Kitty Fox, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Bye-bye. Love you all. Meow.